What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Scythe and we are back again some more Trove, except today, my reptilian brothers and sisters, we're actually not going to be talking about Trove stuff. I just wanted to have Trove in the background just to kind of be, well, just that. Think of it as a moving wallpaper, because today we're going to be talking about stuff relating to the channel, updates to how I'm going to be doing things, and essentially this is stuff that I want to be transparent about and just be very honest with, but it's not really something, to be honest, that is going to end up affecting you, ladies and gentlemen, very much. You know, the best case scenario that you guys may end up seeing is that my videos may become a little bit more consistent in their uploads. I know that I've been really inconsistent lately, and generally you might end up seeing more videos more often, or just me being happier. I think that's going to be the biggest benefit of it all. Because I know that sometimes I can end up getting a little bit testy and frustrated and stuff like that, right? But that's got nothing to do with you guys. It's got nothing to do with me not enjoying the games that I'm playing or YouTube and stuff like that. It's just got to do with the amount of extra time that I've been spending doing things like editing and stuff like that. Like, honestly, I like editing here and there, but I don't like editing non-stop. And lately, these past couple days, the reason why I haven't been doing as many live streams and stuff like that is because I have just been dedicating entire days to editing videos and getting them all done in bulk. And then I'm sitting there completely burnt out, not wanting to make thumbnails for them, but I need a thumbnail before I can end up uploading these videos that are now fully rendered out, and it's just kind of a big circle process of things that are going on. But the cogs are turning, ladies and gents. We've got some big updates going on with myself, with my recording setup, with kind of the software and everything like that. I do want to talk about some real life stuff very briefly and what's going on with that, because I know that I'm very vague about what I've been doing lately with life. Most of all, it's, you know, whenever I say I'm like busy and stuff like that, it's because there's been quite a few things that have been going on with my life right now, and one of those is just spending time with my girlfriend is always going to end up being a very high priority for me. As much as I am a workaholic when it comes to doing YouTube and stuff like that, and as much as I might not get sleep here and there, I do like dedicating a certain amount of time per day to spending with her, because I want to actually have like a good positive relationship. Same with my dog Jub, you know, trying to spend time with her more, trying to walk her more often and stuff like that, as well as just my personal, you know, going to the gym consistently and everything like that. But a lot of this has been in disarray lately because Jub ended up getting leg surgery, where we had to actually have the tendon in her knee would constantly like fall out of place, and it slowly was removing the cartilage in her knee. It was something that was more so going to affect her when she was older rather than now while she's still fairly young, which she actually just turned 2 years old on May 1st. So happy birthday, Jub. I want to see that in the comments from you guys and gals. And well, to kind of celebrate that birthday, we've been more seriously looking at getting Jub a sister. I've always wanted to have, the entire goal the entire time was always to have a normal fawn pug and then a black pug. Jub and Budge. The same as Gonda, you know, is Jub and Yabaki is Budge, right? Like this is how much Trove has affected my life. Or should I say how much YouTube and the channel and my work has affected my life, because these are, you know, it doesn't matter whether or not it was Trove or not. It kind of ended up working out that way, right? But anyways, so we've kind of got a tentative, you know, black pug that we could end up getting somewhere at the end of May, but we're still working that out. Because otherwise it's difficult, okay? Shopping for a pug, which is a rare breed, for something that like we can never get it locally. So we have to shop online, which means that you gotta go through a big process of trying to find out if the person is trying to scam you, how you're actually going to end up adopting the dog and stuff like that. It's, you know, all of this stuff I already ended up going through with Jub. The difference is that Jub was from America, so there was a lot more red tape to go through, whereas the black pug that we're looking at tentatively right now is in Canada, right? So either way, that's gonna be exciting. As far as stuff, you know, with the gym is concerned, I've been working out at home a lot lately, and the reason for that is because I haven't had time to go to the gym, which is very disappointing, because for me, you know, it's bittersweet, because on one hand, I'm disappointed at myself for not going to the gym more consistently, but at the same time, you know, editing has been taking a huge priority for me because I'm trying to get these videos out to you guys at least consistently, even if my upload schedule, like the time of the upload, has been inconsistent. At least I'm still uploading at least a video a day and stuff like that. And the other big reason is because I've been getting a huge back tattoo. It's literally covering my entire back. It's a really, really cool one. I'm really excited to unveil it to you guys and gals. But I'm in the process of kind of recording clips for that so that I can have one vlog of me getting the entire tattoo rather than a million vlogs of me getting the tattoo. Which is a project in and of itself. But during the healing process of the tattoo, it means that I can't go to the gym, and generally leaves me very exhausted. And I'm trying to go as consistent as possible. I want to start going once per week, so long as I can afford it for that month, and then I wait for my paycheck, right? But I want to get this done because there's only like 2 more sessions left, I think. So I'm hoping to go, you know, sometime this week and then next week, get the line work done, because there's only 2 more sessions left to get the lines done, and then it's all coloring, and that is something that can end up going a lot faster than all the lines and stuff like that. But anyways, I don't mean to get off topic here. So as far as the channel is concerned, as far as what I've been wanting to do with the channel for a long time, we're going to be talking about DLive, we're going to be talking about indie games, and just other games in general, I guess, not necessarily indie games, and then some of my stuff that I've set up for my recording setup, streaming differences and stuff like that. So we'll start with the, let's just call it indie games. That's what I always call it. I'm talking about the side games. You know, I get lots and lots of indie devs always requesting me to play their games. I get lots of CD codes to end up getting these games and playing them for free myself, which is absolutely spectacular. And I feel very bad that I don't actually get to play all these games. Now, I'm not saying I want to play 100% of them, because some of them are honestly really bad, but I do want to cover the ones that I think are good. And I haven't had time to do that because of the sheer amount of editing time that I'm already committing to the games that I'm dedicated to. But on top of that, just having more side content has always been something of an issue for me. And you know, a couple months, well, maybe a month ago, actually, I ended up kind of starting this whole, like, me streaming these indie games, and then I just upload the stream afterwards so that I can cut out you know, the need to edit those videos and stuff like that. And I think I'm onto something with that. I just haven't had the time to do so, but I do want to do something like that where I would end up streaming on DLive, me just playing an assortment of random games, and then afterwards on YouTube, before that video uploads, I can use YouTube's editor, which sucks, by the way, to trim those videos, just cut them into separate videos so that, you know, it's not just a collage of random games, even though that might end up being entertaining for you guys or not, I don't know. But this way I could just have, like, all the random games that I want to end up covering. I could end up doing like within an hour and have like 4 or 5 different indie games covered. And that way I could end up having those actually come out a little bit more consistently here and there, right? Now, the other reason for that too is because I've been getting into the mobile games lately, now that I actually have a good phone. And I've actually really been enjoying them. Recording them is a little bit difficult, but that doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying it. Now, the thing is, and this is why I'm going to be talking about my audio setup as far as like streaming and recording and stuff like that, is changing for the better. Like, oh my goodness gracious, I'm actually really excited about this technical change that I've been doing, because one of the things that I've always struggled with in my videos, and one of the things that I know no other YouTuber, well, rarely any YouTubers end up doing, is I have pretty much every single different bit of audio track. Like, there's my mic, there's my game sound, there's my Discord sound. All of those are recorded separately with the way I have my OBS set up, and that way I can adjust the volumes accordingly. More notably, adjusting the game volume so that it's at a consistent level while I'm talking and while people are talking on Discord and stuff like that. So it's always something that's been in the background. Now, more recently, I've actually, you know, I didn't even know that something like this existed. I've always wanted to do it, but I ended up recently finding out that there is a thing called audio ducking. And basically what this is going to do, you've probably seen it in videos here and there. I haven't really fully migrated over to it yet. I'm going to be doing it in this video, though, is that the game volume is going to end up being a lot louder But the trade-off is that the game volume is going to do an audio duck, and quite literally, here's my mic track, here's the game audio track. The game audio track is going to duck under while I'm talking. So what that essentially is going to do is it means that the game volume can end up being a lot higher in moments where I'm not actually saying anything, and then as soon as I start talking, the game volume ends up getting brought down to a point where you can still understand what I'm saying. And it should end up bringing a lot more consistency to the videos and to you know, the gameplay and stuff like that, so you guys will actually be able to hear what's going on. Now that said, this is still in a very big adjustment period for me because I've never done something like this before, so I'm trying to get audio levels working properly so that we can end up having it at you know, a volume that's tolerable. Because unfortunately, when I'm wearing my headphones, usually, like now normally I would record my games at 25% volume. Now I've bumped it up to 50% volume, and it's really, really loud in my headphones, so it's difficult for me to tell now, especially that the audio is ducking, and I can't hear that back. So it's very difficult for me to tell, like, just how high the volume has to be, because according to my graphs that I have in OBS, it says that the game volume's really loud, and then I listen back to it afterwards, and it's like, that's not loud at all, you know? Especially, too, the most difficult thing to deal with in regards to, you know, in regards to games and stuff like that is usually there will end up being an inconsistency with the audio, namely with Trove. When we kill an enemy, that's probably one of the loudest sounds in the game, or when we complete a dungeon, compared to everything else in the game, you can have absolutely cranked, and those two sound effects are still going to end up being extremely loud. Anyways, the reason why I'm setting up all this audio setup is, again, because it means that I will cut down on my editing time, because it means that when I'm uploading streams, there is no editing time involved, but you guys will still hear everything fine. It should be crystal clear and good. Especially the goal is that when I'm playing a game that has audio and talking, I can just sit silent and you guys can understand what they're saying, and then when I talk, you can understand what I'm saying. That's the goal, because a game like Trove doesn't really even need this, but it's still going to end up being helpful, because when I do end up recording a video that requires editing, like the one that I'm, you know, this one I'm going to edit, it still is going to end up helping me in the long run, because normally what I would have to do whenever I'm uploading videos or editing videos is I would have to separate my mic audio and then the game audio. Even for something like this, I would have to put Trove's volume as a separate track so that I could bump it up and make it so that it's something that you can actually hear in the background, you know, or more. That's why more often than not, you've seen in my Trove videos, I will just have the game audio muted and just have some random, you know, royalty-free background music. Lately, I've been using a lot of what's that? It's not Undertale. It's that other game, Deltarune. That was it. And well, now the point is that I won't have to split those audio tracks, and I can just use the one default audio track, because unfortunately Adobe, which is the program that I use, Adobe Premiere Pro CS6, it doesn't recognize multiple audio tracks for some stupid reason. Sony Vegas does, but Adobe doesn't. And so because of it, anytime that I would want to have the game volume, it means I would have to render out separate tracks, and I would have to line them all up, cut the video all separately at once and stuff like that. So essentially this will end up having huge reverberations and impact on my entirety of how I end up approaching videos, and should end up making things a lot easier for me and a lot less work for me, because otherwise the alternative is that I have always wanted to hire an editor. And in the future, I hope that my channel is doing successful enough or doing well enough that I could end up hiring an editor, because I would love to have somebody cut down my videos and make them kind of like more memey and more montage-y, you know, kind of have a little bit more excitement going to them, rather than me just being like a grassroots Let's Player where I'm sitting here talking in front of the camera with you guys, which is something that I'm essentially never going to fully get rid of. But my point is that I would love to have the opportunity of having an editor sometime, but I'm frankly not making enough to end up paying an extra person. You know, I'm just making enough for my own cost of living here, right? In the next couple months, as I slowly migrate over to something like this, it's going to end up having, again, just massive impacts on the way that my life is affected by all of the YouTube and stuff like that, because the amount of time that I'm going to end up saving by doing all of these changes, it's a lot for me to manage right now. The transitional period is very, very difficult for me just because there's a lot of habits and a lot of big changes that I'm going through, but I'm very, very excited about it, and that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about whether or not it's something that you find interesting. Again, I like having these videos where I'm transparent and talk about these things because honestly, I have things pretty optimized. I've got my time pretty well organized and taken care of when it comes to how I upload, how I stream, how I record and stuff like that. But recently, I've gone through all these changes and kind of had all these ideas and revelations of like, oh man, if I change this is going to end up having a big again impact. I guess that's the choice of the word, or the word choice of today or whatever, right? But because of that, I haven't had one of these videos in a long time, and that's why we finally have one now, because finally all of this stuff is actually changing, and finally there's something worth mentioning. So I just wanted to have this as a video that updates you guys on everything. Life stuff, the channel, everything is all going good. It's all fantastic, and I'm still very, very appreciative, as always, to every single one of you guys for all the support that you show me and the ability that this can end up being my cost of living. Like, I love being able to just play video games, but I love all these little optimizations. Like, I like computers and I like doing all of these things, and editing again is the one thing where I feel like I've spent a little too much time for me to enjoy it. And that's the thing too, is possibly if this ends up going well, it means that I will have more time to dedicate to editing these videos and making them a little bit more entertaining with memes and stuff like that, rather than being so burnt out that I don't want to, right? We'll see what happens. Either way, thanks for watching, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Be sure to smack that like button. It helps me out detrimentally. There's also all sorts of support links down below and stuff like that. Have yourselves a great day. Sayonara, and stay epic.